Hey guys, welcome back. So today, and over the next few days, I'm going to be making a project with something that I don't use very often, but we're going to in this instance, and that is deep pour resin. So, I have 9 ounces of my Bondcrafter deep pour, split up into 2 cups, 4.5 ounces each. And what I'm going to be making is a frog. So this is a sort of a bullfrog mold that I got from Amazon, and he's very deep. You can see he's got some heft to him. So that's why I want to use deep pours, because I want to make sure that he turns out really well. So I'm going to split up 2 colors into each of these. The first one I'm going to use is my Decor Rom alcohol ink in avocado, and then in the other one I'm going to be using golden green from my Chanked Keji mica powder. So let's do that. Now, the thing about this is it's deep pour. So if I were to just mix these up and pour them in to the mold immediately, both of the colors would just sit there and meld into each other, and I don't want that. I want some color separation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix these up. I'm going to add this real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Lucky number. Let's see how that goes. But I'm going to mix these up now, and then I'm going to let them sit for a significant period of time, because deep pour resin has a very, very long open time. But if you've ever used deep pour resin, you know that even at about 24 hours, it's still very, very liquidy. And I want these to be thick enough that I can pour them and get some color separation, but also still thin enough that I can still pour them. So that's the plan. So initially I'm going to be mixing both of these up, and then we're going to put them on the bench covered so I don't get in, a smattering of lint in them, because nobody wants a smattering of lint in their projects. But I'm just going to let them sit and do their thing. So I do want this green a little heavier, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 10, 11, something. Anyway, and I'm still not over the 10% threshold of adding color to the deep pour, so I'm not worried about it affecting the curing at all. So I think that is a good color. It's still translucent, or not translucent, transparent enough that, you pick up your stick, you can still tell it's green, but it's not like super green. I'm not pulling a ruby rod. So I just want to make sure that these are good and well mixed up. And of course, they're going to be sitting for a while, so I can always come back and mix them up. I'm going to do that anyway, because I want to make sure that everything is heating up evenly in the cup, because if you don't stir it up at all, then it'll start heating up in some spots and not in the others, much like a microwave oven. It heats up unevenly sometimes, so you have to stir things around to get it to even back up. So anyway, that's the thing. That's what we're doing. This is the thing that we're doing. So yeah, I'll come back and give you periodic updates. While I'm thinking about it, let's take an initial temperature of our resin. So it's 75.3 in that one, 75.3 in that one. Of course, this is Fahrenheit. So I will make sure that post-production Critter puts the Celsius equivalent in the video. So anyway, We'll come back and check on these periodically, and once they get up to a reasonable temperature for pouring, which is probably going to be about, you know, 94, 95-ish degrees, and start thickening and whatnot, then we'll go to the next step. See you guys then. All right, so it's time for next steps. So we have 90.5 on that one, 90.9 on that one. So by the time I get done with all the other stuff that I'm doing, we should be just about ready. So we're going to give this little guy some eyes. Now what I've done is I have taken 2 of these little Aurora Borealis crystals that I have, and I've painted the back black, because these are generally clear, and when you put clear things in resin, they tend to disappear. So I wanted them to show up a little bit more, so I gave it a black background with just a black paint pen. So what I'm going to do is we are going to install his eyes with some UV resin. So I have my Bondcrafter UV resin right here that I'm going to be using. And what I'm going to do is go into his little eye socket, put a dot of UV resin, drop the eye in there, and then cure it. Sorry, there you go. Cure it for a few seconds, just to hold it in place. And hopefully this will look cool. It might not, you never know. Alright, so there's one eye. Let's do the other one. Go into his eye, put a drop of UV resin, push up my glasses. I'm getting new glasses soon. They should be here next week. Yay! So excited. Haven't had new glasses in about 6 years. Alright, so now that that eye's in there, we're just going to let this cure. Alright, sorry about that. So that should be plenty long enough. You can see them in there. So, put away my light and my UV resin. Okay, so like I said, we're going for color separation here. Just going to stir these up a little bit, just make sure that we're good. We're going for color separation. Now, whether or not I'm actually going to get it, I don't know. It's part of the fun, finding out, right? Yep. So, what I'm going to do is mostly fill up Mr. Frog with the regular green, or the green alcohol ink. And then I'm going to go in and just kind of swirl around the green mica powder. Yeah, see? And then top everything off with the regular green. And now I realize I made way too much resin up. I made up 9 ounces and this looks to be about 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to make an extra. And this is just a Let's Resin tea light holder that generally takes about 5 ounces, but I don't have 5 ounces, so we're just going to fill it up as far as it'll go and then see what we do. Excuse me. Saw a piece of fuzz in there and needed to get out. And just pour this in. this in around it. There we go. And then for this one, for the tea light holder, I'm just going to go in and give it a swirl. We'll see if that does anything in the outline, but you know, it might not again. So, tiny torch, go in, get rid of some bubbles. It's deep pour, you really don't have to, but I do it anyway just because. So yeah, there we go. Those are the, projects. Ring light. So we're gonna let these sit for a few days. So I'll see you when it's time to demold. See you then. All right, while we're waiting for Mr. Frog to do his thing, we're gonna make him a little bit of a decoration. So I'm going to be using my Chengtekeji mica in Glitter Merc Green Gold, and I've got 1 ounce of my Bondcrafter 1-to-1. And I'm just going to add a scoopful of the sparkly sauce. Ooh, yeah, that's nice and sparkly. I like it. Nice and sparkly. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'll make sure that I get that very well mixed in so we don't have any chunky bits. And I know I can add a little bit, you know, of resin to the mica first, get it mixed in, and then mix in the rest of the resin. But, you know, hey, you can also just mix it in really well. All right, so we'll let that sit for a sec while I put away my mica powder. And what I'm going to be using, you may have seen, is one of these. This is the little puddle drip mold that I got from BB Craft a while back, but I'm not going to fill it up all the way. I'm going to avoid the base, so we just have a crown. So this looks good. So far, so good. Just going to grab a high-tech mess mitigation device. And now we're going to fill it in. Before we get too far into the process, I do want to go through, because these have very narrow channels in them sometimes, so I just kind of want to go through and squish and squeeze to make sure that we get the resin down into the little bits at the bottom. And make some awesome noises while doing it. All right. So now we're going to let this settle. And if there's a thin layer over the bottom, I'm not worried about that. That's very easy to come off. Yeah, so there we go. So we're going to let this cure, and then we can put together our little frog. See you soon. All right, so after many days, at least I think it's been 4 since I poured it, just because, you know, I haven't been feeling all that well. It's finally time to get out our frog. So let's see how he came out. I'm dying to see his eyes. Oh, wow. Look at him. Oh, his eyes turned out so cool with those Aurora Borealis stones. And the colors. Oh my goodness. Now it is a matte mold, so he looks very regal, doesn't he? You can see the color separation in there. Oh, I just love him. So what we need to do now is a little bit of detail on his face. And for that, I'm just going to be getting a extra fine Sharpie, ultra fine Sharpie. We're just going to go into his little nose. Just highlight his little nose holes. And then around his mouth. There we go. That looks awesome. So now, what we're going to do is we are going to give him his crown. And yes, I know it's too big, but if you were a prince that got turned into a frog, would your crown still fit? I don't think so. So, very cool. I guess we could sort of put a cattywampus on his face. Yeah. Yeah. All right, and now our frog is going to need some place to live. So you remember this guy? So now our frog prince has a pond. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being here. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Take care, guys. Cheers.